What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
It's good, bro.
Chilling, man. You know, holiday season.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, man. It's been a busy week.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun though,
It's been a blast.
but busy.
It definitely has. I got a few things.
Oh, get it off your chest, there, man. Get it off your chest.
One, I gotta apologize again. This might have to be a weekly segment.
All right, let's hear it. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
So, but I see what you did with what you did last week.
What?
I know what you were doing.
I see what you did. What you did last. Okay, help me out. What did I do last week?
That was terrible phrasing, but
Yeah.
so I gotta apologize for. Again, we were talking Phillip Rivers,
Yes.
Big Ben rookie.
Ah.
His first year was actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
But here's the problem.
Oh, all right. Here's the but. All right.
He didn't start playing until after his second year.
Okay.
But
Uh-huh.
I'll give you that because he did have a good early
His
season.
first
We were
year.
talking about early seasons by these quarterbacks. But you just threw out a bunch of names,
What names I
just
thought?
hoping that one of them were going to hit.
When?
Whenever you said all these
I
names.
said Phillip Rivers. I was naming the quarterbacks in his draft class. Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Those are the ones in his draft class that were
And you
taken
said
before.
Breeze.
Yeah.
I think you may have said another one.
Because
I think.
Breeze is what?
He was
what,
a year or
two?
two before.
A year or two before.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was all in. I knew that he wasn't in that class. I knew it was around that time, though.
I think you were just throwing out names,
No.
hoping that one of them was a good
for
one.
me, I name the quarterbacks. This is what I do. I name the quarterbacks that are most comparable or most comparable to the guy we're talking about.
Okay.
So if we were talking about Carson Wentz, I would name Dak. I would probably go Case Keenum, Kirk Cousins, all in that family. But when we're talking Ben, I view him in the top 5 category. So I'm going to name my top 5 quarterbacks that have been in his conversation throughout his career. And historically, throughout his career, Eli, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Brady, Manning when he was playing. Those were the guys who were in the
Those were the
conversation
other
with
ones.
him, always. Yeah. So
So
that's why I named those guys.
So you.
It's a method to the madness, man.
No,
And I didn't say Brady when we talked about it because I knew early on Brady wasn't like that. But Brady was also a 6th-round pick.
I would say he was
His team was good.
because you threw Phillip Rivers in there now, but
Yeah.
his rookie year out of all those guys, rookie years was probably 2, I'd say.
No, it wasn't. His
After
team was
Ben.
just dope. And the reason Ben get the hype because Ben's team was dope. That's the
Yeah.
biggest difference. If you put Ben or Brady on the Giants team when Eli was taking over early on, or on that Chargers team when Phillip Rivers took over early on, it's a totally different conversation.
We can just go off of what happened. That's all.
Yeah, but this is the thing we always talk about. You can't go and take it from an individual stat to a team stat, then back to individual stat, then a team stat. That's what you just essentially did.
You think?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah, because they're one of the better teams. That's why when you compare them, you always say that these guys are going to be higher because they have the rings to go with it.
yeah, but they just had better flat stats than those guys, though.
Listen, we're not even going on that rabbit hole
I know.
today.
I know. I apologize for bringing it up because all I wanted to do was apologize. But
Well, I appreciate you apologizing because then you apologize and try to justify it doing your apology.
I started finger pointing a little bit
Yeah,
too,
you did,
like, hey,
you did.
you were trying to manipulate me, and
It's cool, man. Hey, I
but
understand, man.
it seems like
happens.
it seems like you were coming from an innocent perspective on it, just throwing names out there.
No.
try to-
Listen, when I name names, it's very strategic.
That's what I mean.
That's all I'm saying.
I think it was a little bit of strategic. Like, hey, I'm going to throw these names, and
No.
I'm gonna get them to slip
and
up
I'm
on
not just
something.
gonna spitball either. Like it's like I have certain ones that I remember. That's
Okay.
all. But we do got a fun episode for y'all today, man. Action packed. Got a ton of stuff that happened. But we also had a dope guest come out of podcast, Mr. Benny Snell Football. He made a cameo with us.
Yes, sir.
Dope interview, man. Awesome personality. You can hear his passion too, bro.
Definitely.
Like, y'all are definitely gonna love that 100,000 million%.
Dude, he's got the potential. I'm telling
No,
you.
he does. And he can make some noise.
He's going to make some noise.
Absolutely, man. We saw that just this past game versus the Bengals. I mean, he came out there, had his best game to date as a pro. 21 carries, 98 yards, and you could really see him imposing his will.
Mm-hmm.
He showed that Benny Snell football. He showed that the Chargers game, it wasn't a fluke. Excuse me. He showed that it wasn't a fluke. That he did that same thing there in the second half, and it showed up again this week. But he's a volume carry guy. The more carries he gets, the better he's going to be. And
You could
that's the thing that you
tell.
love.
You could tell in the interview, he has that type of mentality too. He heats up more as he gets
yeah.
more carries. He was saying, well, I don't want to ruin it, but you'll hear it in the interview that, you know, he's a late game type of back and looks forward to that type of stuff.
Without a doubt, man.
Hey, before we move on to football and stuff.
Before we move on, what's up?
I just want to give you a shout out, man.
Me?
We can't be glossing over this.
You right. All right.
You had this big book release?
I did, man. In fact, I happen to have it nearby for the vid. Moats Theory of Life just dropped. You can order it now. Got the holiday bundle packages, man, with the paperback or the hardcover, man. Moatstheory.com. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man.
Shout out to you, man. That's a big accomplishment. That's awesome. It is,
man. And it's funny. It's something that I wanted to do. Like, when we talk about bucket list things, like making it to the NFL was a big thing. I even had it like down to like, I want to have a house, wife, kids, dog. And I was like, I want to be an author. I think it'd be cool to be like Arthur, who's an author. As corny as I was, like when I was growing up, that's what I wanted to be. Yeah. So it was something I definitely wanted to do. And, just being able to help impact people in a positive way, because it's not an autobiography. And I wanted to make sure it wasn't that, or a football book, because I feel like all athletes do that, right? But for me, I wanted to make something that when people read this, regardless of their background, regardless of where they're at in their life, age, whatever, this is something that they can grow and learn from and ultimately be better people and more impactful. So
what's cool is whenever I first hopped on with you back in the spring and we started doing, the Arthur Moats show and all the video and media stuff, that you said you had a book in the works, and then I kind of forgot about it. We never brought it up again. And then literally like a few weeks ago, hey man, that book's like about to drop.
Yeah, 'cause I'm low key, man. I tell people all the time, man.
That's how you got to be. I'm
super low key when I'm
with you.
Man.
Just do the work behind the scenes, and when it's ready, it's ready.
I had so many people hit me up recently, like, "Yo, you dropped a book? When we writing on a book?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm always in the lab. I'm always cooking.
Just do it."
Yeah.
So how do you want me to order this? Do you want me to get them off you in person? I'm serious. I want to help you. I want to help you get, whether it's on the Amazon rankings, New York best time seller. Do I have to? Would you prefer me to order them on Amazon then?
No. So actually, it goes better if you go through the website. It's just moatstheory.com, because we can track all the stats that way. Yeah, but so far, man, we just made it available to the public. Was it Wednesday? Actually, Tuesday. We made it available to the public Tuesday around like 4:30. Actually, 4:00. And it's been doing really well so far, man. So we definitely gonna keep it going, man. Hey, yeah, man. Any way you support, man, I always appreciate you. You my guy, Deke. I appreciate you.
I gotta be, but I just want to. That's how you got to do it. You work the system a little bit instead of me just getting it off you in person. Why not? I'm getting it anyway. Why not increase your stats?
You're right.
Try to get the publicity
because
out
the numbers
there.
do help, man. You're
Definitely.
Right. You're right. I appreciate you, man.
No problem, dude.
See, that's why you're a good guy. You're a good guy. You know what? Hey, 15-1 Steelers, man. I'm with you, Deke. I don't care what no one say, man. You on my team forever.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, but back to now, and I guess we can dive into the football thing, man.
Yeah.
And how you feeling about this matchup, man? It's so unique, right?
It really is, because their offense is hot.
Yeah, they are clicking. They just won their third in a row. They're coming off their best offensive performance. Well, it depends on how you want to rank it. I think their best performance was the Ravens in terms of them scoring 40, but it was more complete because they had the running game going. It was versus a way better opponent in terms of the Ravens. But in recent weeks, this is definitely their best offensive output that they had with the 41 points on the Dolphins.
So that is a little concerning.
Yeah.
There's something about Browns coming in. They got the hype. Mm-hmm. Everyone's picking them.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good.
Okay.
But if you just look at it on paper, I'm not going to lie.
It looks bad.
It's concerning. I mean, we got our third string quarterback in there who a lot of people, me and you including, think it's the right move to have him out there. It's the better play, but still, it's your third string quarterback.
Right.
Juju's probably not playing. Defense is really stout, but they also have a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Their offense is way better.
They have weapons. And the thing is, they have legit weapons on offense.
We're at home, though. And like I said, it's just that hype factor.
We left out they have the second leading rusher in the NFL.
Who, the Browns?
Nick Chubb, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have Kareem Hunt, too, who is
he's just
top 10.
Right.
And it's just,
and they're using him as the afterthought back, like, oh, we'll give you the crumbs.
Yeah, exactly. He just had like eight carries last week for 30-something yards and a touchdown. Just
casual.
Yeah, exactly. So on paper, I'm not feeling good, but at the same time, considering you're just thinking, man, Browns are gonna let themselves down here. There's a lot of hype, and we're at home. I think they could lay an egg, but it's a mixed emotions. I'm just feeling good from the standpoint. Hey, we got Duck in there,
right?
And our defense is pretty solid, so that's kind of what we're riding on.
Yeah, I think, man, I agree with you. I'm kind of conflicted because when you look at this Steelers defense, they've been playing lights out. They created the turnovers again, which we knew they could. They have the talent across the board to go toe to toe with anybody from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, they look so pedestrian, so bad before Duck came in. And granted, Duck made the nice pass to James Washington, but after that, they still were very stagnant. Now, granted, Benny Snell got heated up in the second half, especially late in the fourth, and ultimately iced it. But those type of things concern me because I know this Browns defense is a lot better than that Bengals defense that they played last week.
No, definitely.
Yeah, and also that Bengals defense, we talked about it as one of our keys last week, how they struggled to stop the run. And the way to attack that team was to run the ball. This Browns team, they're so hot and cold, like
because their run defense is actually awful. If you look at the stats across the whole season,
the games that they lose, they give up big time yardage on the ground. But the games they win,
they smoked us in their run defense,
right? And that's the thing. Anything. It's like when they're winning, they shut down the run, make you one dimensional. And my only concern is, how are we going to respond to that? Now, granted, when we played them on Thursday night, we didn't have James Conner out there. He got hurt with the first two series. He said literally his first hit of the game, he knew, all right, this is not good. Benny Snell wasn't out there. There was no Kareth White back then. So you factor in all those things. I'm like, I do think Benny Snell and Kareth White provide or form a very formidable tandem in the backfield. We saw the burst and the speed that Kareth plays with, and obviously, Jalen Samuels, what he does in terms of the receiving element of it. So I do see some promise in that regard. And Deion Kane, I feel like he's a more, I guess, reliable threat than Johnny Holton in terms of the deep passes, because we actually saw him connect on one and draw a PI later in that game.
Yep.
So those things I do feel good about. I am concerned to see how Duck performs now that the team is going to have a full week to prepare for just him. There is no guessing game of, is it Mason, is it Duck? And that's something that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we've seen it one time against the Chargers.
And even that week, remember, they wouldn't even announce that Duck was going to be the starter.
Yeah, and it wasn't anything crazy. We just blew him out really quick, and there wasn't anything where, hey, Duck, you have to do this. We might see that in this game just due to the Browns' offense and all their weapons. It might be somewhat of a shootout. Yeah. Now, the thing I have to ask you about with Kareth White and Deion Kane, dude, how does this happen?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, Phillip Lindsay's a good example last year, undrafted. I mean, and then we bring these dudes in.
Over the guys that everybody else wanted, not me, but everybody else.
Well, yeah, I mean, even that. I mean, they were on practice squads for other teams, correct?
Yeah, well, Deion was on practice squads. Well, yeah, technically both of them were, but Deion has had active games before, though.
Yeah.
That's the difference, yeah.
I mean, how does this happen, though?
I think the biggest thing is this. At the NFL level, the athletes are there. Everybody's good. And that's something that any professional person would tell you. Like, no matter what people say, oh, that guy's a bum, his stats, this and that. No, everybody's legit at that level. I think sometimes it comes down to the timing and just taking full advantage of that moment. Like Deion Kane, for example, he's been in the lab all season on the practice squad. Kareth White has been in the lab all season on a practice squad. It's not like he's sitting at home just lifting weights and running on air, running cones. Like, no, he's legit been seeing the holes. He's been working on his time, his cardio, his conditioning, his nutrition, his nutrition. All of these things they've been in the lab working on. So now that they get the opportunity in a game situation, the moment happened for them and they capitalize. Deion, he goes out there, he makes that catch. It wasn't that it was just some wide open pass either. Like, no, he goes up and is like, okay, I got a chance to make a play. Let me go get it. I'm sure he's made that play in practice before as well. Kareth, you see how he's hitting the hole, burst and getting in and out. He's done that in practice, I'm sure. And those are the things that like translate. So when you get that opportunity, it's second nature almost. But everything has to go right. The O-line has to be blocking right. The receivers have to be blocking right. Or the receivers have to run the route. The quarterback has to make everything has to go right for you to get that moment. But if you're not prepared for that moment, once it comes to you, it's a lost moment. It's an overthrow. It's a 3-yard gain instead of a 15-yard gain. And those are the biggest things in that. But and from a talent standpoint, anybody that can make it to a practice squad roster, and cause just think about this, right? It's what, 3,000 people in the NFL per year? Think about how many people play just high school football. We're talking 3,000 total NFL players, including practice squad. It's probably 3,000 people that play football just in a 4 or 5 school district area. Like, just when you think about that, and then not even talking about the collegiate ranks.
Yeah.
So when you get to that level, you are the best of the best from wherever you're from. And that's why it's like when you see these dudes that are like freaky at that level, you're like, yo, you are really special. I always say you've been touched by God because there's no way you should be that much better than the rest of us because I know I'm nice. And like mentally, that's how you think. You're like, yo, you know you nice if you got here. But if you can dog us out, then yeah, you are like legit. Like you've descended from the heavens.
It's crazy though to think that one play, one series could make or break your career.
Change your life,
just have to be prepared.
Yes.
Because if you just look at the eye test, those dudes can play in the league.
Absolutely.
Right? Whenever Kareth White's running, you're thinking like, wow, good. Somewhat of a Willie Parker.
Yeah. Ugly number, but dope player. Just saying what everybody believes in, man. You know everybody want to say that.
That's nah, man.
40
I'm usually the one that would say something like that. I can't believe it.
Ugly number. For running back, is ugly number. Yeah, I can't go with it.
Who was it? Gale Sayers was 40, wasn't he?
Yeah. When did Gale Sayers play? Like, think about the fact that you just said that. Just think about that.
Yeah, but now, hey, things happen in cycles.
Whatever.
Maybe it's going to be a number that comes back around.
I hope so for his sake there. Yeah. Jeez.
But another thing is that wasn't the case on Thursday Night Football. Myles Garrett was on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to assume that's going to help us then, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's the thing, too. No Myles Garrett. Olivier Vernon's going to be questionable coming back from a knee injury, but just that game versus the Dolphins, they still produced a ton of sacks, and that's the biggest thing. So you still have Sheldon Richardson over there who can ball out. We know that. Larry Ogunjobi, who is their, I think, second leading sacker, he'll be back for this game now. So they definitely still have the talent. But the biggest thing is going to be, can, number one, the Steelers, understanding that, hey, we're going to come in here and try to establish a run game. Can they control that line of scrimmage? And that's what it's going to come down to. Because if they can do that, well, now you make them have to play more honest. If they can just sit back here and know, like I was on Thursday night, that, oh, we got a lead, you have to pass the ball, we're pinning our ears back, that's a totally different ball game. You do not want to be, as an offensive lineman, that's a terrible situation when you know they're pinning their ears back, rushing every play. And especially when you don't have the quarterback that can make all the throws and ultimately light them up. That's a bad feeling. So that's my only concern in that department. Like, can they set that tone on the ground? And that's why I think it's going to be important for Benny and Kareth to bust some nice runs early on in the game to get that defense on their heels a little bit.
It'll definitely be interesting to see. Now, we flip it on the other side with us on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, we talked about this earlier. They got a juggernaut on offense now, it's looking like.
Yeah, they look good, man.
And I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, I think Njoku's coming back, right? At tight end.
He should be, yeah. I got to check the stats, but I think he should be.
And it's really going to come down to these corners balling out because for some reason you had the Dolphins game last week. You had our game the week before that, which they weren't too crazy, but they've been really efficient these past 3 weeks on offense. The first two,
you know what they've been doing?
Run the ball.
Absolutely.
But we got to watch out for these receivers now, too.
Yeah, but the thing, when I look at this Browns team, if they come out and they're trying to throw the ball, that doesn't scare me. What scares me is when they commit to the run because they are legit on the ground. And that's the one thing that we've noticed from them this season. The games that they do well in, they pound the rock. The games that they do bad in, they get out there and get cute, try to throw the ball too much. And literally the first game, well, we saw them do it versus Baltimore, but then they went away from it. Then the next time we saw them really commit to the run was when they played us on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then from there, they did it again versus the Dolphins. So now I'm like, have you guys found your identity? Have you understood that, hey, we're a better team when we're running the ball versus us trying to make highlight plays to Baker and Jarvis? And if they have come to that realization, that's scary because Nick Chubb is a legit running back. Kareem Hunt is a legit running back. And granted, they struggle in pass protection, that offensive line does, but in terms of run blocking, they get the job done.
We were able to stop them, though, on Thursday night.
We were. I mean, granted, they had over 100 yards total rushing, but that was more of just the attrition of them putting so many carries to that department.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you have to control that line of scrimmage as a defense, period.
That's probably what it's going to come down to. You, I guess you want to talk about the stars and the people on the outside, but isn't that what it always comes down to?
Yeah, it always is. Everybody outside of the football world likes to get enamored with those guys. So you know how it is, man.
I do.
Because it's the highlights. Oh, it's so pretty. But it's like, yeah, you see when they focus on Odell and they focus on Jarvis, what their record was and how they looked. And now you see when they're just playing just ugly football, let's just run it, what they look like.
It's weird just because last week, I guess it all came together for them. It looked like a vintage Ben, Brown, Bell, like stat line for the offense where everyone was contributing, everyone was going off.
But you also have to factor in who you were playing against, right?
The Dolphins.
And that's the same thing that I say when we look at our offense and the success they were able to have on the ground. Because think about this season. What team have we really said had a ton of success on the ground against? The Chargers?
The Chargers, yep.
Other
Bengals.
than that,
Bengals first
Bengals,
time.
Both times was the Bengals.
Yeah.
But we talked about how the Bengals have one of the worst run defenses in the league. So for me, that's why I'm always hesitant to say, okay, I really think that these guys have turned the corner. It's our time. We got it now. We can run the ball. We can establish that line of scrimmage. That's going to help out the young quarterbacks. We're good. Because when I'm looking at who we're doing it against,
it's hard to say for sure. You're just hoping based off what we've seen.
Right, you'd be optimistic about it without a doubt. Yeah.
It's just really hard to say. But is there anything else in terms of football matchups that you're looking at that we've missed thus far?
Something, and not just a particular player, but the Steelers as a whole, their emotions. I mean, this is going to be on Coach Tomlin in a big way because you have to think about everything that happened during that game Thursday night. Then everything that happened after that game, the helmet swinging and all that stuff. Then everything that led up to that Bengals game, the conversation of did he say this word? Did he not say that word? Then the Bengals game itself, Mason getting benched, Duck coming in. Then Tuesday, they named Duck the starter. It's just so much stuff that's going on. And then you have oh man, are they going to allow them to wear Garrett jerseys in there?
Wait, what?
Because that was a conversation. Well, then it was like the D Haslam. So that's the white.
I saw
owner.
this.
She has the 95 hat on.
Wait, how is that legal?
It's not. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Yeah. And they did come back later on and then like put a public statement out there. But these are all the things that's been transpiring, right? The videos of them having a Mason Rudolph pinata hitting them with the helmet.
I could not believe that.
Right, but just think about all of that, right? The Browns fans talking about they're gonna get I forgot what they said they're gonna do in terms of like, they're supposed to be coming over in like big waves of buses to the games that way they could take over Heinz Field and all this stuff, and they're gonna meet up at Tequila Cowboy, the pregame and everything. I'm like, all of that is outside noise. All of that is the stuff that you have to make sure if you're Coach Tomlin, you're keeping these players' emotions in check because it's easily one of those games where they can come out there too hyped because they feel disrespected. And now they want to come out here and they're pressing too much on offense. Or when they're on defense, they're trying to, let me give them that extra. You know, that extra where they, you might hit him when you shouldn't hit him. Oh, he's might be out of bounds. I'm going to hit him anyways. Yeah, those type of things, man, they could ultimately cost you because your 15-yard penalties or potentially getting ejected and things like that. That's what you have to make sure you guard against. That's the thing that I don't think a lot of people have talked about. They talk about the matchups. Oh, man, no Miles, no Pouncey, this, that.
So you're saying the hype could go against us, whereas I'm thinking in the back of my mind the hype's going to go against the Browns, but in reality, it still could screw us too.
Absolutely, because if we're acting out there pressing too hard or being too emotional, without a doubt, it can get us. Now, I will say this. It seems that when you watch this Browns team, though, they have performed better in those highly emotional situations. They have. You look at them when they played the Ravens. That was the big emotion.
Am I in the past with everything here?
You are. You're a retro guy. It's cool, man. Yeah, because you're thinking back to, we've dominated the series for so long. And I'm like, we've had Ben for so long, so that's a little bit different. But, yeah.
You know what the problem is, too, with that?
What's that?
It might just be the media. Because with every matchup, they try to go back in history and talk about storylines and narratives where you're telling me each year it's a completely different team.
And as a player, we wouldn't care what they said our record was versus a team a year ago or two. We're like, bro, we're trying to win now. You think, matter of fact, I could tell you firsthand in 2014, the second time we played the Browns, they hit us with the stat. Ben was 15-1 at that time versus the Browns. You think they cared when they went in there and dropped 30 on us? They did not care. Period. It wasn't oh man, we beat y'all all the time, right? We're supposed to beat y'all again. No, they didn't care about that. So that's why, like, when you're playing these games, you know, man, don't care about that history stuff. Like, fans like to care about the history. Media people like to bring it up. Oh, it gives context. Lets you know this and that. It's a storyline. Man, as players, you do not care about none of that. You know one thing. If I go out here and I kick my man butt more than he kicked my butt, we're going to win. And that's kind of the mindset with that. But shoot, when you want to talk history, I know overall the Steelers have dominated the matchup. But Baker Mayfield's record against the AFC North, it's like 5-2 right now. Yeah,
you didn't have to bring that up.
Well, actually, yeah, 5-2 and no, yeah, because he didn't even start the first game last year. So 5-2, yeah.
You didn't have to bring that up.
I'm just saying, 5-2, man, in the AFC North.
Crap, man.
Yeah,
dude. Well, I want to ask you about the just the Mason Pinata thing.
Yeah,
dude. Like, I don't even know what to think of. Like,
hey, man, your tailgate, man. You know how it is at the tailgate. Man, you gotta have a little fun, man.
I mean, it was. I don't know if
would you have swung at it?
No, bro. I wouldn't have.
No,
there's no way. If the rules were flipped and for some reason Steeler fans are swinging at a Browns player, dude, I just wouldn't. I don't know. Like, it was funny to watch, but like, if I'm there, I'm not. I just think we're classier than them. I think that's what I'm trying to get to. I like to think, at least.
All right.
We're blue collar here in Pittsburgh, but
what are they in Cleveland?
Huh?
What are they in Cleveland?
Blue collar too.
Oh, okay. I was just checking.
I just feel like we're a little classier. We've won a little more. We know we're above that.
Okay.
Who knows though? Maybe I'm doing the holier than thou thing right now. Is that what's happening?
Hey, no comment, man. No comment. I love everybody in Pittsburgh. Period. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
I just think we're classy here. We wouldn't do that. We're above these Browns fans.
Boom.
That's all.
There you go. Right there. You heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all. Anything else? I wanted to ask you about another thing.
No, I was good with that, man. Yeah.
Okay. Off the field.
Okay.
Because there's a video that came out.
Yes. Talk about it.
Wide receiver 1 for the squad, Juju.
Yes.
Driving 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
Here's the thing.
Recording it too.
Here's the thing. Does that concern you at all? It doesn't really concern me.
To drive 100 miles an hour and record?
Yeah. Well, I guess just from the from football standpoint. From, hey man, just worry about your health and not crash.
While he was still in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, that's another added element to your general health. I'm saying, in terms of how you perform on the football field, does that really affect it? I mean, I'm not concerned about that.
In terms of performing on the field, sure, nothing bothers you on the field. You could say, hey, this guy's partying at night, but that doesn't bother him on the field. This guy, had a domestic violence incident. That doesn't bother him on the field. Technically, nothing, quotation, quote, open quote, close quote, bothers you on the field.
What's concerning that to you?
But it's very concerning if you're driving 104 miles an hour and you're recording, because that's a life or death situation.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's very concerning.
I'm just saying, all right, he ends up playing the Browns game, or maybe even plays the week after that.
Yeah.
Has 4 catches, 50 yards.
Okay.
Fans start railing on him about the video.
Fans are going to do it regardless, yeah.
But that's what I mean. I don't think that has anything to do with his football.
Fans get like that when somebody tweets too much after a game. What are we talking about here? You can tweet after a game and they're like, oh, you need to be in the books. You need to be studying the playbook. Like, bro, it's Monday. We just finished the game. It's 4:00 in the afternoon. You need to be studying. Get off of social media. Like, what? Why are you at the music party? You're not allowed to have entertainment. You 24/7, sun up to sundown, you have to be focused on football, football, football. That's how fans think. Not all fans, because I do love y'all, and there's some awesome fans, but there are some that do say that. And we know what we're talking about. We say it all the time. Like, hey, man, you got to study more, man. You should be watching film. Like, bro, what? Stop it. Do you work all day, every day at Walmart? Or are you at the office all day, every day, even when you go home? Hey, don't play with your kids. Don't go to the park. Just go work.
Now, you know how you have your book, Theory of Life? I have a theory on this video, actually.
All right, let's hear it, man.
So Juju signed with Jay-Z.
Okay.
If you notice in the video, it has, I think it's Travis Scott playing.
Okay.
But it's playing on Tidal.
Okay.
So I think there was something, wink, wink, Jay-Z, him, something behind the scenes. Hey, dude, just do this real quick. It's going to stir up some controversy. It's going to help business, though, because How many times?
The Hope Who business, Jay-Z business, not Juju's business.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's an agreement there. Like, hey, you're gonna get a cut of what comes in here. Or maybe we'll increase your contract a little bit. You don't think?
I wouldn't sign it personally. I wouldn't sign that contract personally.
No, he's already signed with Rock Nation.
No. I'm saying, like, if that's in the contract, if that was a part of the fine print, the wink, the hey, jeopardize your life real quick for some likes on social media. If that's not clout chasing to its finest, jeez, that's all I'm saying.
It depends on how much money, though.
Clout chasing is however you want to look at it, man.
But I mean, this is the new age of social media marketing. I mean, you're right, dude. You never know what could be going on.
Hey, man, I'm just glad that he's alive.
Exactly, but
period. That's how I feel about it. I'm glad he's alive.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Yes.
Because it could have went left real bad, and it'd be a totally different conversation.
That is true. I'm definitely. Here's my thing. Like that's. We talked about this a little bit with the Garrett Rudolph situation. Mm-hmm. That's obvious. Like, don't be driving 100 miles an hour. Like, we're worried about your health or
recording it while driving 104 miles an hour.
That's not the best idea. But
it's actually a terrible idea.
I guess I'm just trying to look in depth in it a little bit and see what could be really going on there.
Poor decision making.
Well, because what's the point of recording it? This is why I go back to my conspiracy.
Well, we
theory.
talk about people that like to be on the social media like that. They like the attention. All right. So, man, come on, man. You know how this goes.
I'm just trying to give a different angle that maybe
heard the song, they do anything for likes. You heard that song before. They do anything for likes. They do anything for likes. It's a Migos song. And it
happens. It happens. Yes.
It happens. It's not a knock on the kid. I just hope that he learns, hey, if I'm going to drive and record, make sure I do it safely. Not on the interstate or the parkway, whatever you want to call it. If you're out in the West Coast, the freeway, just do it in a controlled environment, somewhere safer with less speed, because we care about you.
Yes, we do.
A lot.
Absolutely.
And not even on a football level. I know you personally, so I care about you on a personal level.
Yeah. Seems like a good guy to me. So.
He is. Yeah.
All right, so we got the off-field, the on-field. Yeah. Do you want to get into the projections?
Let's do it, man.
Okay.
Predictions, whatever you want to call it, man. It's your world. You go first.
You want to go first? Nah, man. I'm not a prediction guy, man.
Okay, go ahead then. Yeah. You already got your one loss, right? 15-1. So yeah.
Okay. So with everything being said thus far, we get the dub. I think it's the same thing as the Bengals game. Okay. I don't know how.
Okay.
21. Oh, man, it's going to be a little higher scoring, actually. 24-21. Boz game winner.
Okay.
Duck game-winning drive.
Okay.
We get it at the, maybe, 25-30 off a punt.
Okay.
Duck leads us. I think there's going to be a pass interference called there on the drive. But we take what we can get.
Hey, anything works, man.
Yeah, Boz, 46-yarder for the dub.
Okay.
Back and forth game. It's going to be intense.
All right.
What do you think?
Oh, man, shoot. I got Steelers losing, man. 21-20.
No.
I'm not even about to play that game, man. I understand the hype on Duck. I hope he goes in there and executes at a high level. I love the fact he's an FCS guy. I want him to ball out, but at the end of the day, I understand how tough it is to play at this league. I understand how tough it is to win at this league. And I haven't seen enough consistently from him to make me think that he can come out and do something so special versus that defense now that they're going to be preparing for him. I do think that he does lead a scoring drive without a doubt. And I do think that we create some turnovers on defense. But I don't think we're going to have enough offensive firepower to keep up with them like that.
Duck can sling it, man. Duck can sling it.
He can sling it without a doubt. You got to think, 20 points, that's 2 touchdowns by him. That's asking for a lot.
Yeah, maybe on the ground.
That's asking for a lot either way. Is it not?
Well, here's
what have we seen to make you think he could throw 2 touchdown passes right now?
He threw one last week, so that was in one half.
Yeah,
so
and even with that, and
times 2.
But and I'll even say this because I know, and this is the one thing that I didn't want to do because I don't want to sound like a Duck hater. But realistically, if William Jackson III makes a competent break, that is an intercept. If that's Joe Hayden, if that's Steven Nelson over there playing that backside of cover 3 with that drag, with that cross road coming from James Washington, that is a pick.
Oh man, dude, come on.
But we're gonna dive into that play a little later, man.
Yeah, watch the film session.
Yeah, definitely gonna watch the film.
Come on.
That's my only thing with that. So I'm like, hey, he stepped into the throw, he made it, he hit him where he could catch it and keep running. But as a defender, that was a atrocious break by William Jackson III. That's all I'm saying.
You're hurting me right now. Because here's the thing. I just don't know what I'm watching. I'm trying. I definitely am. We might need to have you give me on a week-to-week basis, like,
I got you.
Watch this position. Just watch this position.
I'm gonna educate you.
Tell
man.
me what happens on these plays. Like,
I'm
what
gonna
do you
educate
see?
you, man.
And
Great finish by James Washington, but if BW Webb is a competent tackler,
because what I saw was I thought it was a good throw. Because I watched the all 22 actually this time. I just focused on Duck though. I like the offense and the quarterback, so I just watched all Ducks plays, all 22, and on that play, we'll see. Actually, I'm gonna say it on the podcast because I want to see if you say it in the thing. There was a guy open. Streaking across the middle, correct?
Yeah, because
it might have been the better read.
Yeah, it was a 3-level route concept. They were playing versus cover 3, so you want to have a deep threat, intermediate threat, and a shallow threat. So Deontay, I believe, was coming from left to right, was the shallow threat, wide open. He's good. Vance did a good job in terms of line. There
were a lot of guys. There was like 3 people open actually.
Yeah, and then Vance did a good job sitting up right around where the linebackers were just to draw that attention. And James Washington, I mean, without a doubt, he was open at the time because BW Webb was on the backside of him in that cover 3. He always is going to be trailing outside in. But the thing is, when you make that throw, it has to be a dagger across the middle because the issue is
floated up a little too much.
Yeah, because the issue is the other corner who's in cover 3 is a free runner, and he had no vertical threat over there to make him have to hold because obviously if you make that guy go vertical, well, now it's not going to have the right spacing where James coming across. But the issue is William Jackson, if he just puts a foot in the ground and breaks flat, he rounds it and then he trips over his own self and falls down. Let's be real about it.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah, well, no, and that's why I said it does happen. It's the same conversation we had when Juju scored on San Fran. And it's like, oh, well, that dude messed up, but hey, it doesn't matter. He scored. All I'm simply saying is I know what can consistently happen in this league, and I know what is flukish. And that's my only thing with that.
Combo of both maybe there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Hey, it's points either way, though. We needed it. I hope we get it. Give me some more of that. Well, I hope we get more of it.
Well, what's interesting is for this pick, I don't think you've picked against the Steelers, and the Steelers have won yet. I don't think you have.
Don't do that to me, man.
So if it happens
don't do that
week,
to me, man.
I mean, dude, I got railed on, man.
I hope, you know what? I do hope I am wrong, though.
I know.
I would love that, and I would welcome all the railing. Trust me, I hate because it's my issue. As a former player,
I told you though, there's a responsibility on the mic, right?
It is though, but as a former player, it's like it hurts me to ever pick because, like, in my mind, I'm like, nah, man, Benny gonna go off, and then defense we're gonna score 2 times, and then we're gonna shut that down and this and that. But then when I take off my like black and gold goggles and I put down my Steelers jersey and I put my media hat on, I'm like, well, when you really look at this thing, there's some concerns majorly.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Yeah. I'll probably take it easier on you than you did with me and everyone else, just because I'll just probably let it pass. I'll just be like, I'll just be chill about it. And I think the thing too was this though. The reason why everybody went at you so hard was you can't say 15-1 to start the year out, coming out the gate super strong with the ultimate homer. Because even me, I remember I picked mine. I was like, nah, I think they're gonna lose some games. I can show you the ones I think they're gonna lose. But with you were just like, nah, 15-1. I mean, we've had this conversation, but I mean,
and I think that was the biggest reason why.
I mean, there's a guy that's not there. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
I still think they should make it to the playoffs.
Big Ben. That's all.
So,
yeah, man. Well, think they want to hear Benny Snell?
Yeah, man. Get on Benny Snell football, man. Y'all have heard enough of us, so y'all gonna hear more of us. But it's gonna be in an interview format now with my main man Benny Snell. So shout out to him again for coming on the podcast. Definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in. Also, man, if you want to support and show love for the book, man, moatstheory.com. Definitely check that out. Appreciate you.
Basically, the question you should be asking is, do you want to improve your life?
Yeah, do you want to be impactful?
Do you want to thrive?
Do you want to be great?
Yes.
If you do.
If you're answering yes to that, and I think everyone should be. I mean, you're breathing, live like question. Why
not
live
maximize a 24?
Yeah, why live a substandard life? Get the book then.
Period. moatstheory.com. Moats Theory of Life is the book, baby. Appreciate y'all again. And as always,
until next time,
peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining the podcast this week, 4th round pick out of Kentucky, the 122nd pick out of Kentucky. Everyone knows him as Benny Snell football. Ladies and gentlemen, Benny Snell. How are you doing, man? Appreciate you taking some time to come on the podcast with us today, man.
Oh, yeah, you already know, man. No doubt it's all love. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, no doubt, man. And shoot, we got a chance to see that Benny Snell football again this week, man, in Cincinnati. You had your best rushing game of your NFL career, man. 21 carries, 98 yards. I mean, you were out here just doing your thing. First game back from injury. So just talk about what was the key to your success on Sunday?
It was really, sticking to the game plan. I made sure that, going into the game that I had, everything in line that I had to do, like alignment and, executing the play. Mm-hmm. And, I got to give my glory to my O-line. David was doing a great job of, moving the pile forward, and, I was just making it happen after that. So, cheers to them.
Man, and one of the things I was impressed with, too, when you talk about the O-line, was you in pass blocking, man. Most of young running backs don't want to step up and get their face in there, man. But just talk about, man, just adding that element to your game, man. What's that about?
Yeah, most definitely. I've been working as much as I can at that. When I came out the draft, it's always about having trust in a player before you can let them out there with the live shots. So, I've been working at it in practice. James and Jay Sam have been helping me a lot. Rosie Nix, and I feel like I'm full-fledged out there now. So
I like that.
Anybody that want to run up, I'm with it.
Hey, I like that without a doubt, man. And shoot, man, just talk about it too, man. What's going through your mind in those late game situations where we seeing them just constantly feed you and you're breaking off 4-yard, 5-yard, 6-yard, 20-yard run like we saw versus the Bengals, man? What's going through your mind at that stage of the game, man?
I'm just thinking like it's crunch time. It's crunch time. Like, when we run, when I got that feel and for the flow and we're constantly running the ball, I just got a feel for the defense. Like I can tell that they're tired. Like I can tell that they're probably not going to come as hard the next play. You know what I'm saying? And that motivates me. You know what I'm saying? So when Banner's in there, when Ramon's in there, and we're pushing the power forward, like they're like laughing, like when they're picking me up, having fun. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we know we got the upper edge on them.
Absolutely, man. I like that.
Benny, Deke here. Now, can you talk about your decision to go pro? This was after your junior year. Was it a tough decision or no? Because I'm imagining you were the big man on campus at this point, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And I love Kentucky with all my heart. But really, it was a tough decision of where I was at in my life, and leaving my friends, leaving family. That I made in Kentucky, but I've always been the type of guy that, I'm going to do what's best. And I've been working for something all my life. And, this is my dream. So I'm living my dream right now. And, I wanted to get after it right away.
Yeah.
I like that.
Can't blame you for that.
And shoot, man, when I'm thinking about you making that adjustment too, man, just talk about how difficult that could be sometimes going from Kentucky, right? From an SEC school to the NFL level, man.
Most definitely. I feel like college, it reminds me a lot of like how I used to be in high school, like the high school days. It's very, very strong football love. Everyone knows who you are. The competition level is up some weeks, down some weeks.
Right.
When you get straight to the NFL, it's all the same. Everyone's good. So, like I said, that was a dramatic difference. What hasn't changed is the hype for football, the love of football. Like,
that
Steelers
passion.
fans are crazy, got that passion, and just like Kentucky fans were. So those go hand in hand, and I love that. So
no doubt. And now, I mean, obviously, since high school, you've been the man, right? Best running back on the team in high school, obviously the best running back on the team in college, and you get to the NFL. And it's different, right? You have competition in the room. You have to play special teams as well. So just talk about, man, what's that like for you being in the special teams role? Because it looks like from our view, like you embrace it, man. You go out here, make tackles out there, and you look like you're not doing it like you're forced to, but almost like you want to be out there.
Most definitely. that's what I think I've been learning of me being, 21 and being young, of loving the game of football even more. I'm not gonna lie, because in high school I was that guy that was like, yeah, like I don't really like special teams like that. Like, I'm focusing on scoring touchdowns, woo woo. But like me, as where I'm at right now, me being able to live my dream right now, like as long as I'm on that field, I'm happy and I'm loving it. So if I need to block a kick, if I need to make a tackle, if I need to strip the ball, if I need to run the ball, if I need to block, I'm with whatever.
Whatever
that makes the team win. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And trust me, you're not the only one who goes through that phase of, man, I never played special teams, didn't want to. A lot of guys, man, go through that same phase, but the thing that makes you different is that passion that you got just for football, wanting to be out there and wanting to make a play and help the team in whatever way. So definitely keep that going, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Now, talking about chasing your dream, I listened to a previous interview that you did, and coming up in football, I think it was maybe between high school and college, maybe both, where you had teammates or just people around you that would kind of diss your dream and say, "Hey, man, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be the starter." But you always had a belief in yourself. Where did that come from?
So I could say that it came from over time. It came from over time. So it really started when I was young and in high school, and you really don't pay much attention to it because it's just the football level isn't that serious. But it really like, I don't want to say it got me in my feelings, but I really took note of it when I got to college, and they were saying that I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, and every day, every game day, I was showing up to play and I was giving them my all. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I just felt like it was just a long process that made me who I am, who made me the underdog, who, at the end of the tunnel, I ended up being able to shine. So it all started when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? And even I wanted to go to Ohio State real bad because I wanted to be a hometown hero. But going to the college camps, being first in line, they got the 5 stars, the 4 stars. I'm out working them. I'm out working all of them, and I'm still in the front.
What were you? What star were you?
I was a 3-star. I was a 3-star, but I was still, when I was in that camp, I was showing up. I was first. I was winning my one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? But they were still getting their awards, and they were still being first. Woo woo woo. But you know what I'm saying? But they really wasn't showing up like I was. So that's what made me really like learn that things are the way they are, but we're gonna make it work. However it's given to us.
Have a long-term mentality.
I like that, man.
Most definitely.
I like
yes,
that.
Sir.
Now, everybody knows how hard a rookie year can be, right? And you've had a knee injury, man. You had to miss some games, but come back from. So just talk about, man, how you've been able to handle that adversity throughout the season and just the twists and turns of being a rookie in the NFL.
Oh man, that's a great question. It really, I'll take every situation as a learning situation. I never try to be down on myself or, dwell on what's happening. The only thing that kind of had me like down was being away from my teammates. Watching them on TV and not being out there. Like when they played the Browns this most recent time, like it was cold out there and I was inside in the warmth and I was like still shaking, like I felt like I was out there with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just tough times like that, and I also got like a different perspective of how things are, like, when I'm actually watching us, because I never get to usually watch us, you know what I'm saying? So that was different. But I take everything as a learning experience. And, whenever my time comes, it's, starting to come or will come later, we're gonna shine, we're gonna make it happen.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite / interesting thing about Pittsburgh thus far, about the time you've been here? Something quirky, maybe even like a pet peeve. Devin Bush was telling us something about his pet peeve here. He thinks people stare too much.
What did Dad say?
He said people stare too much here at Pittsburgh.
Oh. Nah, I don't want to say a pet peeve. I've been had people like come up to me while I'm in the mall and while I'm eating. You know, sometimes I don't be liking it, but like I've
My
been
man
dealing
trying to
with
eat his
that. So
Chick-fil-A, man. Let my man eat his Chick-fil-A. Golly.
man, I'll be like, I don't know what's going on, man. You want the picture? I got you, bro. Like, but nah, it ain't nothing crazy. There's a place up the street from where I stay. It's called Nadine's or something like that, and it's like breakfast. And I usually get that like before on a game day type deal. So they be seeing my face. They know who I am.
I like it.
Shout out to them. Now, I also have read or heard that you're a big Call of Duty fan and that you were the best on Kentucky's team. Now, is there anything going on with you being on the Steelers? I know Juju's kind of the Call of Duty guy. Has there been a matchup there, or like how do you rank in terms of like the Call of Duty players on the Steelers?
Most definitely. So with me and Juju have never like let's do a 1-on-1, or never have we been on the same team to like see who got the most kills.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna rank myself as, I'm just gonna say Juju's number one. I'm gonna say I'm along with him. I'm just gonna say I'm right there along with him because I play it every day. I don't watch TV. I play video games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So in every game, I'm carrying the team. So I got the most kills.
I like it.
So I don't want to talk crazy, but like that's how I feel about Call of Duty because I play it so much. Mm-hmm. I'm confident like nobody can beat me. You know what I mean?
Hey, Juju shooting commercials. You in the lab on that duty, man. Hey, I understand. So since you've been in the NFL, right? Just your rookie year, just talk about what has been the one thing that surprised you the most.
I'm sorry, you said one thing that surprised me, and
I said, so obviously this is your rookie year, so just talk about the one thing that surprised you the most since coming into the NFL.
I want to say like adjusting from it being to, you know, kind of a hobby thing and something that you do to it being like your job and you being a professional all the time. So I would say like, you know, being accountable for, you know, being to meetings on times and, you know, whenever you step into the facility or whenever you step like on the field and game day, like it's all business. You know what I'm saying? I tried to like have a lot more fun in college, but like now I know there's a business, you know, there's like a fine line for it.
Absolutely.
Now, do you have a most excessive purchase thus far? Or what was your first big purchase after getting that contract?
Oh, my first big purchase. It was definitely probably a car. I got myself a car. I had to upgrade from the Tucson I used to have.
Ooh, okay. What'd you go with?
Yeah. What was the options?
You said what?
Which one did you go with? What car did you go with? And what were the choices?
Oh yeah, I got the Benz truck.
Ooh, AMG.
AMG, come on.
Okay, talk then.
Come on, man.
Now, can you tell us what Benny Snell football is in 3 words? Can you describe it for us?
3 words. 3 words. Okay, I'm gonna give you hard nosed. Opposing the will.
Okay.
Opposing the will in the defense. That's not a word, but
no. Actually,
hey, I like it even better.
This is better. Yeah, like 3 phrases. 3 phrases.
Those are 3 words, hey man.
and then, let me think. It gotta be a good one. I'm gonna just put salty for the other team.
Oh, okay.
I already gave mine. You know what I mean? I gotta give the other team what they feel. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right, now before we wrap up the podcast, we always ask everybody this one question, man. So just talk about your welcome to the NFL moment.
Ooh, my welcome to the NFL moment. Okay, so I got 2.
All right.
I would say my one is like what kind of like makes me happy that like to show that I'm a professional. Like being able to come to my locker, you know, after a hard practice, and, you know, of the work I put in, and being able to see the check that, like, I'm getting paid for this. Like, this is actually my job, you know. That's kind of like a wake up call I get.
And those are nice daily checks too.
But, yeah, most definitely. But I would say the Dolphins game. When that was the game that I got hurt, but when we played Miami, it was on kickoff. They were on kickoff and I was on kick return. You know what I'm saying? And I don't remember if the ball got kicked out or not, but like I was setting up to make this block, and dude ran me straight over. He's like full speed ran me straight over, and I was like, dang, I was like, he got me for real. I couldn't even say nothing. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm in the league, so I already know what's what.
Hey, you play long enough, it happens to everybody. Trust me. Just try to get them more than they get you. Well, shoot, man. We definitely appreciate you again, man, taking some time. Wish you nothing but the best. Stay healthy and keep being great, man, in all you do.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
All right, no problem. All right. Take it easy.
All right, yep.
All right, peace.